Hey guys, so today we're going to be making a jumpsuit, and this will be a jumpsuit with the waistband in the middle. Okay, so when I first start, I'm going to be cutting the edge off because sometimes it can cause the fabric to have sort of like a wrinkle. So I cut that off, and it allowed the fabric to lay a little flatter. Next, I'm folding the fabric so that I can cut my first pant leg out. And my normal measurements are 25 width for my thigh. But I'm going to get my fabric down to 10 inches just because the fabric is super stretchy. And this is a stretch satin fabric. I'm also 5'2", so my length from my waist to my ankle is 40 inches. So I'm going to be cutting it at 40 inches. I know I'm kind of short. So also once I cut the first pant leg out, I'm going to be cutting out the second and laying the first one on top. And these are rectangles at the moment, but they will be turned into the pant leg, of course. And because this fabric stretches, I'm not exactly doing the wider in the back, smaller in the front leggings cut per pattern. But, you know, this kind of works since I use majority stretch fabric, spandex. As you can see, I lay the fabric, the two rectangles for the two pant legs on top of each other. I'm going to measure out the waist initially, and I'm going to use a 6.5 so that the waist is 13 inches in front, 13 inches in the back, and that's 26 inches all the way around. My natural waist measurement is 30 inches. So when I cut the from the waist to, well, the groin area, I usually just eyeball it, and I make it at least 11 inches long. Especially that's okay with having the waistband right now. And of course, again, the fabric does stretch, so it has a lot of give. And for the ankle, I measure out 4 inches, well, 4.5 for this one. Now I have the excess fabric that's left at the top from what was left over the two rectangle leg parts. And I'm going to be doing the same thing to this edge, cutting it off so that the fabric lays flat. And I'm going to be using this for the arm, and they're going to be a 3/4 sleeve. I use the width at 6.5 inches, which is 13 inches. My natural arm width is 14 inches, but again, it does stretch. And I do the same thing that I did with the pants. Cut the two rectangles out. Okay, with the arm opening, I usually have it at 9 inches when I cut it open. I eyeball it. So I'm measuring it to make sure that it's at least 9 inches. And the wrist is 3 inches because it stretches. And I just take the 3 inches all the way to the edge of the arm opening, and I cut a diagonal out. And I was kind of out of the camera view, but I just laid the first sleeve on top of the second, and I cut it out. I cut out a duplicate for the second sleeve. Now we're going to start working on the top of the jumpsuit. I'll continue to cut that edge off because we're going to need a little bit more than, you know, what's left over right there. At the top, I measure 35 inches all the way around. But I usually like, when it comes to stretch fabric, I usually like to go to 15 inches. When I say there's a lot of stretch, there is a lot of stretch in this fabric. So this is my 15 inches. And I do 15 inches by 13 inches when I have a waistband. Now this is 15 inches by, it's a lot more, but so we won't need the excess fabric. So I'm going to cut the waistband out first. And my waistband is going to be 3.5 inches. And I do 3.5 because I know that, I do add seam allowance. And so that eventually it'll be about 3 inches long. Okay. So now we want to cut it down to the 13 inches because that's the width of the pants. And there's our waistband. Now we're going to cut the top. Just cut the fold open so that we have 2 separate pieces. Also, for this top, we're not just going to do like a front and back for the jumpsuit. It's going to be kind of like an overlay in the front. So there will be 3 pieces for the top. And the back is pretty much the stencil per se. So I cut 2 pieces out initially. And then I adjust 1 piece and lay it on top of the 3rd piece of fabric to mirror. For the arm opening on the top, of course, I want that to be 9 inches to match the sleeve. Okay, so these are all the pieces. We have the sleeves, the back of the top, the waistband, the 2 front pieces for the top, and the 2 legs. Okay, so first we start, I did it off camera, but I sewed the seams for the legs together and I turned 1 leg inside out so that I can sew the seam for the middle part together. So you can see once I turn it inside out, we have a pair of leggings, the bottom of the jumpsuit. Now for the waistband. So we're going to sew the 2 side seams together. And I was just kind of trying to adjust because it kind of got shifted in the sewing machine. Once we sew those two side seams together, we're going to attach it to the bottom of the jumpsuit, and the side seams will be along the sides of the pants. So I kind of just hold it or fold it in half so that I could find the side seams on the pants, since there are no seams on the bottoms. After sewing the waistband, we're going to start on the top. And of course, we want everything right sides facing each other. We'll sew the shoulder seams and the side seams for both sides. And then we will attach the top to the bottom. Here are our arms. So we sew the seam for the arm together. And attach the arms to the top. And then attach the top to the bottom. And for a perfect finish, you would actually do a hem, but I decided not to for this one. But you would just hem around the top, hem the sleeve openings, and the bottom of the pants opening. I didn't do it. I was sort of in a rush. But you guys will see the finished product in my lookbook. So I hope you guys watch, subscribe, like, and comments. Put some great comments on my channel. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any more requests for any DIYs or tutorials, just let me know. Leave it in the comments below.